Hi friends, welcome back to Playing Tribute to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations, the third game of the original trilogy. We are on episode 4. The game's episode 4, not the series episode 4. We are well past 4 in my recordings. But this is case 4 of this game, and it is called Turnabout Beginnings. And we are going to get to see a little bit what that past case that was haunting Mia so much, that made her not want to come to court for a year. We're going to see how that goes. So, I'm sure you have an idea. Let's just get started, shall we? The girl. Let her go. Shut up! Come closer, and I'll kill her! Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. First trial. I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Yeah! Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear, I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago, and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry, I told a little lie. This guy. Oh boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. I'm sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. He did meet with a victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Ha! I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. You're not going to figure out the truth by just staring at the guy. Why are you here? I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where is Mr. Grossberg? Ha! That old man is probably still in bed. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me? No. You've got it all wrong. Today you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client. Yeah, thanks. Sure wish I could get out of it, though. Ha! Relax. I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, unlike a certain somebody, who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours, it's go time. A solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him. But not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple, childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth.
Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Look who it is! It's a young Edgeworth! Look at him, so dapper. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor.
So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age.
At 20, Your Honor.
I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh?
Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you.
Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon. Is that correct?
Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death.
You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and a murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old.
A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted.
Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony? The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the Whit River. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful currents. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered. So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away.
That policewoman you just mentioned, that would be...
Exactly. The victim, the same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne.
Aha! I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago, with only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty.
Wait a minute. That's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice, or your tone of voice.
Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness.
I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case.
So, here's the real question. Is his trench coat the same trench coat, and it's just gotten green with age, which is super gross, or is it a different trench coat? I'm gonna go with different trench coat. You know, every 5 years or so, or 10 years or so, he gets a new one. Sure. Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago.
I don't believe anyone asked you about that.
Hey, ma'am. You got any idea how much work it takes?
What is it?
You're really gorgeous.
Excuse me?
No, seriously. My heart. It's aching for you. Why? Yeah, I agree, Edgeworth.
Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional, otherwise I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache.
Okay, I got it. Now, Detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir. Right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran in the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. Not much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. Actually, what do I have in the courtyard? Oh, I have the autopsy report. Cool, thanks. It tells me the same thing. Oh, it's brand new. Aerial map of the area. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there, on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at the police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Okay. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there.
Your Honor, if you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I were some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir.
Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me, and get ready.
I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything.
On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up on the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge.
Naturally.
Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up.
Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're going to make me spill my coffee.
Again, I'm not going to say anything.
I'm not trembling, it's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right. Especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness. Everyone's a beginner in here. Ha! You got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all last night watching.
That's what you did last night?
Oh, boy. No sleep and no studying the crime itself. Great.
Press everything.
This unknown person, you have no idea who it might be, right?
Sorry, but I'm afraid I do.
What?
The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What? The defendant? The defendant called her?
Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir.
She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls.
A note?
Yeah, top secret memo that she left on her desk.
If it was top secret, why did she leave it on her desk?
According to this note, it seems the one who called her at the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls.
Confidential police materials written by the victim. Falls. At that bridge, wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Well, that's interesting. I'm sure that'll be important later. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me?
Ha!
Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now.
Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's the detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to.
Is that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. Right, yeah. If you recall, this is old Edgeworth. The Edgeworth that we know more about in, or that we know more in, the first game. The sneaky, manipulative one that, wants a guilty verdict because he is under the, mentorship of Mr. Von Karma. His outfit reflects that, too. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there?
Because it's a very important place to the defendant. That's why. What do you mean by that?
If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge.
The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls.
Ha! Returning to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. Great, cool, thanks. I don't know whether I really have to press this. Was the body of the victim discovered right away?
Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great! We even got to say, "Don't move! We've got you surrounded!"
Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right?
Ha!
If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed.
She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive.
I wonder why she didn't mention her phone call to anyone. Mr. Falls had a car, then?
Well, the bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, were it? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at the red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves.
Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything?
This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk.
Oh, well that's helpful. Great, cool.
Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable.
No, indeed. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah.
Ha! For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here.
You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car?
Okay, I think... Okay, so like I said, I think I said this at the beginning of my playthrough of this particular game of the series. I only played this case and the last case once. But I think that I was triggered into a memory by reading this note here. That she's missing something. So I'm gonna present it and see if it works. Yay! Okay. Whoa! Jeez! Okay. I didn't know it was gonna be that intense and forceful. Witness! Clearly neither did she.
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Fey?
I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Fey, I'm not sure I like this.
Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy? Candy? Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Desk slam. Detective!
Yes, ma'am.
This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, the special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it.
Ah! The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for. Is this the one, perchance? Ah!
Where did you find that, sir?
On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why didn't you tell me?
I made the decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It is the safest place I know.
That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic.
It's not exactly white, as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for.
Looks like it spent some time in the mud.
Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept this scarf into evidence.
So if he was trying to hide it, maybe it's important for me? Maybe it proves something for me? Or not. Now, if the attorney for the defense has finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fey? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Very good. Now, if we're done with the mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively, and with hard evidence, that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there.
That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh?
Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. And this photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows her wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim from behind and stabbed her in the back. And that must have been when the scarf fell off. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It's about 40 feet drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway?
Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party.
Aha! Potential witness! So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify.
The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel her to testify.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Okay. Maybe we can pull her out. Who knows? Where would she have been to take that photo? She would have had to be in the southwest, right? If they were in the middle of the bridge, like where those wires cross. She had to be down where the R and river, the capital R and river is. Because it has that wall there. So as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge.
Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Oh no, he's gonna declare him guilty again. Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Not again, that's not fair.
I haven't even done my cross-examination yet.
What do you mean,
This judge is a little... He's not great. Okay, eyewitness that doesn't want to testify. Let's find out, see what we can do here. Who is this eyewitness?
She's a college student.
A female college student?
That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her.
Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all.
What is that supposed to mean?
The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student.
Female college student, eh? It means she's female and a college student, sir.
If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us good reason why.
Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question.
This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows her wearing the scarf. Okay, so... The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright. So about the witness who took the photo, what was this person doing all the way in the mountains?
She was taking photos of the wildflowers, apparently.
There are many unusual types of flora in that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there.
Spirits? Now that you mention it, that this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is this a ghost? I don't believe it.
No, I think it's just fog.
No, Your Honor, no. I don't think it's ghost.
Drizzling, huh?
That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in the court right now. Haha.
Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog.
I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. You could have fallen off the bridge. That thing does not look safe.
Criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Wait a second. How would the criminal have shoved her from behind? He was in front of her.
Also, wait a second.
Oops, not that one. If... Whoa, wait. If this picture was taken from where I think it was taken... which would be... southwest. That means that the criminal, Terry Falls, came second. Because she was on the further end of the bridge, and then his back is to the camera, which means that he came to her.
Okay. Hold on. First of all, I think this might work here. Or not. I still don't agree with the fact that he could have done it from behind. Maybe I should have pressed it first. You always press. Always press before you present. Shame on me. I got excited. I don't think I can heal myself in this case either, so this is not going to be great. Because it's not like I'm going to have psyche locks to break or anything like that. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. I was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Ha! Save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey! Watch where you spill your coffee! Yeah, okay. But... I did. And I presented the witness's photo. So I know it's not what I tried because I failed. So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf, but from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. The bridge was probably wet too, which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud, but there's something about this testimony that's so bothering me. Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So what do I do? Really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean. Of course I do. So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer's obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. By the way, I figured out what it is. Because they hinted at it enough. The scarf is dirty. But she is not. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog too. Just as generally soggy atmosphere. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with that soggy atmosphere. But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions of the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. What is it about this photo of the trunk that doesn't fit with the conditions that day? Her, and her general lack of filth. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Remember the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff bid was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, his glorious hockey beard, pride of the little legal league, would be wet but not muddy. Unfortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? The surface of the bridge? A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this. Neither would a real woman. I like her confident that it's Sprite. I might have already mentioned this on her first case, but whenever she, moves her bangs. Of course I can. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy. They were talking about it before. The scarf is muddy. The evidence is this scarf. Ah, it should be obvious. But if the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud. No, I
can't be outwitted by this. Jeez, Edgeworth, wow. Same to you, buddy.
Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me.
I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here. Ha! Man, this guy and his ha's. Just saying. You're doing pretty good. For a little kitten. Mr. Armando? No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? False evidence. It's one of those three. Well, we have photographic evidence for two of them.
What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that.
That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over there has said it.
This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know.
Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into the court.
But we won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as the flimsy scam it really is.
Yes. False evidence in the case is the thing that doesn't have a photograph attached to it. It's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that the testimony exactly as the witness claims to have seen?
Yeah, that's what the witness told us.
That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all.
That's true.
Ha! It's not just true, it's the truth. If there is truly a decisive witness on this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place. Your Honor, the defense requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all.
You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court.
Liar.
We are prepared to present our witness at any time.
Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time.
What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth?
Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Hey guys, remember her? Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter.
When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite.
Hey, not so fast. As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Faye, you could learn a lot from this man.
If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one of me. Sir?
Yes, my dear.
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all.
Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, you correct?
And you were the one who took this photo. Is that accurate? How can you be so mean?
Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in the face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. And she's the one who took it! Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Oh, I don't like the turn this has taken. Yeah, well, don't worry. We'll straighten things up.
Is she staring at me? And you would be?
Uh-huh.
I'm the defense lawyer. My name is Mia Fey. I see. So you are.
Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best.
It's so weird to see the name Melissa as her text box.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wildflowers. Then I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that I called the police.
I wouldn't say that the photo catches the crucial moment. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred?
I believe the map would be of help here. I was standing right over here.
Yeah, that's what I figured based on the camera angle.
I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
So you took the photo from that location, huh?
I brought the camera I was using at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to.
Oh, what a cute camera, just like its owner. All right then, Miss Fey, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again, and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel.
That's okay, I don't think I need to press anything.
There's a... Unless it's one of those, like, my logic isn't matching the game's logic. But, I mean, they wouldn't call it that. Right? Like, she wouldn't call it the crucial moment. This does not show the crucial moment. They're just standing there.
Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. You testified that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Oh, you see. The photo we presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it.
Oh. My apologies, young lady, but Miss Fey's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit.
He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo is the last one.
What?
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
Is it? Is that not a digital camera? Okay, alright, fine.
I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wildflowers.
The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos of myself once, too. Please, no details. It seems that Miss Fey's assertion was not so decisive after all. Wait, just a minute. Oh, well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh?
Miss Foster, perhaps then you can tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes. Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well, then. Let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy's really a sucker for sweet talk. Ha! Looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention. Yeah, it's sickening.
Have you reached your 17th cup yet? I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I was using my camera to take photos of the wildflowers. Suddenly they just started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but she only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. Okay, so this is where it's a problem, based on where she was and how the picture was taken. The victim couldn't have turned around and tried to run away. Should I present the picture again? I'm going to press it first. The victim. Why do you think she tried to run away? With her police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. That was forceful. This was a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure that she would have acted differently. I've never seen that word. Well, I guess I have seen this word because I've played this game before, or this case before. Maybe I didn't press this before. Why you? If it had been me, I probably would have jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony. Yeah, like the fact that she couldn't have turned around. Do I present this again? No, I don't, apparently. I'm gonna make her cry, apparently. Darn. It's eating away. It's eating away my health. I'm jumping the gun again. Okay, the victim turned around, trying to run away. She was stabbed in the back. But she couldn't have turned around because of how they were facing. Oh, no, I'm dumb. I know. It's not the picture that I sent, because the picture doesn't prove it. It's the map. The map is the thing that proves it. Because of the hole in the bridge. I'll continue this, and then I'll, present the correct thing. So you're saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him? Well, it's a narrow bridge, and swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her.
That seems to make sense.
I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off.
Ha! You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why.
Terry Falls isn't the criminal. And there must be something strange in that girl's testimony.
Be careful, kitten. That girl has the judge wrapped right around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers.
You're going to have to come up with something really good, Mia.
Alright. Preferably, the actual correct answer. Which is... the map! My bad, guys. My bad. I'm sorry. Witness, your testimony is a joke.
Huh? What? But I just...
Miss Fay, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry.
One short testimony and two bad contradictions.
There's no possible excuse. You see there were two contradictions?
It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then...
She would have hit a dead end!
You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have ran even 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side.
What does all this mean?
It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it.
This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion.
What do you mean?
There's one major mistake in this diagram.
Oh no, is he gonna say that the bridge was fixed?
What did you say?
What are you referring to?
It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it.
So you're saying?
I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, There's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous! You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo, which is why that was wrong whenever I presented it before. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. He is lying. Ha! That guy's good. What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, all right. That diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? That coward. Yeah. Old Edgeworth is not great. He's not a great guy.
Well, Miss Fay, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No! It wasn't your fault at all.
Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish, once and for all, what it was that the witness actually saw.
Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
We're all on your side, Miss Foster.
There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. And he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
Witnessing such violence must have been difficult.
Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished.
Don't say that.
Oh well. Maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really great mocha latte. This trial isn't over yet! Ha! That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Fay, your cross-examination, if you please. The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. Okay, good. That's nice to know. I do know what the contradiction is. I just wanted some... Carried her over to the car. That's the problem. Because, if we look at the map, she could not have possibly seen the car. Because there's the cliff there. Now, if this isn't correct, I'm gonna be very upset. Oh my goodness! What do you want, game? You told me to go on the attack.
You personally witnessed that?
Yes.
Did anything strange happen when he did that?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not. That's when the victim's scarf fell off.
You mean the scarf?
The words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem.
Yeah, I see a problem. He wouldn't have been able to see it.
You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself?
Yes.
Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly.
Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Faye, if you think there's some other possibility, please share it with the rest of us. What? Oh, wow. I know how else he could have had the body stay hidden. I don't know how to prove it. Maybe with the map again? This is stupid, right? I don't want to... I don't like how much I've been whittling away at my health bar.
The other way to make the body stay hidden is to toss it into the river. That's what I'm saying. And they were pressing for another way. Like, they were hinting at it. Which is really weird to me that they're giving me so many hints in the fourth case of the game. Because usually they're just like, oh, you're on your own now. It's like the finale. Well, this isn't the finale. There's another case after this. But, like, you know, late enough into the game. Like, it didn't give me as many hints in the last two cases. Hey! A killer not wanting his victim to be found. I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. Well, what is it? Take another look at the map of the area, and you'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river. Ah! In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at that same spot above the Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the river. Oh, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay, but I must admit it does seem odd not to have thrown the body in the river. Oh. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Please stop sighing at me. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try to take a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. As he keeps saying, that's like the 4th time he said that same sentence to me. Oh my goodness. But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that the body was found in the trunk of the car. Well, that's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. That's true. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who's he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. Okay, but again, you couldn't have seen any of that. You couldn't have seen him break into the car because the cliff was in the way. What did the man do then? Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police. And so that's when you called the police. You're sure that you saw all of that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain. Is this where I... Is this where I prove that she couldn't see it? Can I keep pulling out this map again? Is this just my favorite thing ever? Yes, okay. So this is a prime example of being ahead of the game's logic. When I said that she couldn't have seen him put the body in the car. Apparently I had to wait until she actually said, "Oh, he's breaking into the car and putting the body in there." Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there? You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes? Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I
I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car.
That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine.
I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Ah! Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but still you claim to have been able to see the killer's car.
Order in the courts. What is the meaning of all of this ballyhoo?
Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it.
Don't you dare wipe this all away with that! She was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh.
Mr. Judge?
What is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that.
Miss Faye, no one in the face of the planet is perfect. Are you going to make an exception here? Because you're waggling your finger just like Von Karma did. The wink and everything, that's very Von Karma.
Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I am inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here.
What? That's not fair. Ha! Save the tears for your save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando, don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair!
Okay, kitten. You need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony. So tell us, how did you know that? How did you know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on the side of the courtroom.
Well, witness.
I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. Because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it.
What? Let me see that photo. I mean, there are. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied?
The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? How did she know that there were scratches on the trunk? I don't buy it. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches? The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Finally! I finally got her! Ha! I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason this witness had seen the scratches was... So logically speaking, like we all know where we want to go with this, but logically speaking, having to be passing by, that's just silly. Owner of the car, well, it wouldn't have been scratched at the moment. There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches.
Yes, what was it? This is like
This is the defense attorney's bread and butter in all of these cases. It's like, witness, accuse the witness. Every single time, just accuse the witness. I mean, we know that she's sketchy because we know about the case later, the second case, but seriously. Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. Are you really that shocked, Edgeworth, that the defense attorney would accuse the witness? I mean, that's, again, playbook here. The person who really hid that body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it?
But that's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one to put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used a car key. There was no need to break it open.
But he stole the car.
He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition.
Oh, I see.
Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. It couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk. I love how sassy Mia can be. Preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time she was taking photographs. Yeah, but there's an explanation for that too. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is that the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know it updated the evidence. I wasn't paying attention. I don't think you can make a mistake about it. Take a look at her camera. It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Almost as if the camera was brought just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly, she was not in the field. Would the defense please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? And answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer this question. Okay, so something has been bugging me about the picture. That it's not very clear who it is that's meeting Mr. Falls. It's just the scarf, right? And then everything else is kind of like shady under the hat and stuff. So, what if she was there? Naturally, the witness was right here. But that's where the victim, Mrs. Hawthorne, was standing. Not necessarily, Judge. Order. Miss Fay, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. But this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. Of course Mr. Falls met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls. You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in the photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness. What? It's the only possible explanation. The woman that Mr. Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster.
Me?
Let's remember that it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. But the defendants knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client has spent 5 hard years in a federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? Got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Just making sure. Okay. Mr. Falls has forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely, the muddy scarf. It was Mr. Falls who requested that she wear the scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing the scarf, like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster? Did she faint? What happened? I think she fainted. The judge isn't going to be happy about that. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. Does he not know how he feels about that? It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't that obvious? She's the true criminal. Ha! Oh, well, we have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. I think he meant what is her motive, because right now we don't have a clear motive. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are instructed to wait in the lobby. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. The court is in recess. Dun 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 dun. So, great being just thrown right into the courtroom. That generally doesn't happen, except for in the first case of the game. Usually there's a lot of investigation and learning about the crime itself. But yeah, don't worry. The identities that are very obviously being just shoved in our faces right now will be tied up in a nice little bow soon enough. So I'll talk to you guys next time.